Hi there, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge pendant called the Lens Multi-Pendant. This is the 1370-815. Very cool pendant, lots of cool parts to this pendant. Before we jump into anything, do me a favor, if you're on our website, HandmadeInVermont.com, and if you're on the page for this fixture, the 1370-815, a great reference tool that we're going to use together is going to be the installation instructions, because it's going to have a diagram that shows you all the parts and what the canopy looks like and all those things. So, on the right hand side of your screen, on this side, you're going to see some pull down menus that are going to say choose your length, choose your finish. Scroll down from there and you're going to see a couple hyperlinks, and one is going to say click here for installations instructions PDF. So click on that for me. Big page is going to pop up, and that page is going to have diagrams of this fixture. It's going to show you how the rods go together. It's going to show you what the lamping is like. It's going to show you the really important thing of what the canopy is like up on the ceiling, because a lot of photographs probably don't show you that. Excuse me. So why don't we jump into that? Once you guys have that in front of you, now we can kind of walk through a lot of things together. Let's talk about the size of the fixture to begin with. And when we do talk about the body of the fixture, it's really from the bottom of the fixture to where the rods start. And you'll notice there are 3 of these telescoping rods that are going to be holding this fixture together. And the height of the fixture itself, the body of the fixture, the bottom part, which is the glass and the housing for the socket for this guy, 24.3 inches tall. Length of it is 39.4, so it's just about 40 inches. You'll notice a lot of our pendants are about 42 inches. The reason for that is because so many dining tables in America are 72 inches long to 84 inches long. So that is a great size for that. You can use this over a kitchen island too. I think there'd be dynamite for that. Reason is because you can use some bulbs that project a lot of light down. It's also very easy to clean because it's glass. Excuse me. So, and the depth of it is 10.5 inches. So, why don't we jump into what the canopy size is, and that's the piece that's on the ceiling. It's going to go over a traditional junction box. You're going to notice when you look at that diagram, so there's a long skinny canopy. Canopy is, how big is my canopy? 5.3 inches wide by 35.3 inches long. The biggest part of the canopy is a square that is sitting inside of a long rectangle that's big enough to hide the 4-inch junction box you're going to be using in your ceiling. Okay, so that's going to take care of that. Now we're going to talk about the overall height. And when we talk about overall height, now we're talking about from the ceiling to the bottom of the fixture. If you guys are big fans of Hubbardton Forge, you probably know about that they have a patent on this telescoping rod idea. And how this works is there's a skinnier rod that telescopes into a bigger rod. Right here is a clutch, and I can kind of take this apart and show you what it's like. And there's a friction sleeve. So that's a piece of plastic inside, heavy-duty plastic. There is a hex nut right there. You can barely see it. And this is going to come with a little tool, this little tool, that's going to go into that hex nut. It's going to tighten it against that friction sleeve, which tightens against this piece. And what that does is it locks it into place. So once you guys get this to where you want it to go, and see how it's even a little tight right there? So right now I can make this go up and down, but if I tighten that, it's going to lock it into place. So during your installation, you'll be able to move this up and down to get it where you want it to be. Once you get it to where you want it to be, that's when you cut your wires. Don't cut them until you get this exactly where you want it to be. So now we know we have 3 different adjustable ranges you can choose from for this, and this is going to be measured now from the bottom of the fixture to the ceiling itself. Don't be afraid to call me if you guys have questions about this. I go through this stuff every day with people, and I enjoy doing it. I'm going to ask you some questions like how tall is your ceiling? Make sure you actually measure it and don't guess. You know, how tall is the table over the floor? They're generally 30 inches. How tall is your counter if you're putting over a kitchen island? Those kind of things. So we can always talk about that. But this video will help you get through that too. So now we're going to talk about the 3 different adjustable ranges. So the short is going to be actually a fixed range. It's not going to be adjustable. That's going to be 30 inches from the bottom of the fixture to the ceiling. The standard is going to be 36.4 to 43.1. The long is going to be 46.3 to 55. So if you do need this longer than the long, we do custom ranges to get you longer than long. You know, because the fixture body itself is 24.3 inches high and the short starts at 30, that's only 6-inch difference. There's a slight possibility I can do a custom of a fix to make this a little shorter, but because the body of the fixture is 24.3 inches, possible not. So, but the best thing to do is if you need this shorter than the short, drop me a quick email and I can send a message over to Hubbardton. There might be something else we can do, to get you where you need to go. So that's that on that. So this is slope ceiling adaptable in one direction only. If you guys are working with a slope ceiling, give me a call and I can walk you through that. There's a knuckle at the top of this that lets this bend 45 degrees, but it determines on how, anytime you have more than one or two of these, two or more of these telescoping rods, one can't be longer than the other. It determines how it hangs on the slope of a sloped ceiling. So if you guys have a sloped ceiling and you're working with that, call me, 802-446-2400, and I can walk you through that. So why don't we jump into lamping on this. So this is going to be using a traditional medium base socket. It's a porcelain socket, and it's housed in that kind of conical fitter housing that's hiding the bulb. The bulb that you can use, a couple of them, A19 is going to be a more traditional size. This is the one a lot of us grew up with. It's a screw-in socket, so you can see it's very easy there. A19, 100 watt max per, so if you want to go for a traditional bulb, you can do that. 100 watt max is going to be your limit for that because of the heat generated by that bulb. You can also put in LEDs, and there's a whole bunch of different LEDs that you can use, so you're good to go there. A19 is the size of that too, A19, sorry. But if you guys really want to get some great light into this, and I recommend using this bulb instead, and the reason why is because that piece of glass is a beautiful cast piece of glass on the bottom, has little air bubbles in it, and the idea is that you want to shoot light down into that piece of glass, and the light is going to go into the glass, hit those little air bubbles, and it's going to reflect and refract all over the place. So you get this really beautiful glow. It's almost like that piece of glass is going to pop. So how you get around to do that is you use what's called a par 20. So a par 20 light bulb is going to be this shape. This is a really old one, so it's also an LED, but they have newer ones. It's really the shape of the fixture. It has a reflector on it, so it pushes the light out. Think of like the reflector on a old-fashioned flashlight. Remember those? It's going to be that idea, and that just shoots light down in one direction. You can use LEDs. You can use a halogen version of a par 20 if you really want to get some awesome light out of this. And actually, the par 20 LEDs throw great light, so I wouldn't throw that out the window. But the halogens are going to just pump a lot of great light out. They dim beautifully. Your max for a halogen version is going to be 50 watts. So keep that, par 20, 50 watt, halogen or LED. Okay, so that's it for that. Why don't we talk about, it's 33 pounds all in, so kind of keep that in mind. Most of those things we got going. Let's talk about metal finishes. If you're on our website, HandmadeInVermont.com, midway down left-hand side in the red tabs, you're going to see a finishes help guide. Click on that for me. There's going to be a video at the top of that page. That video is me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton forged finishes and how they look on different types of forging. If you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see there is a chart. The chart is going to have 10 different metal finishes this comes in. There are going to be pictures with the letter A on them, pictures with the letter B on them, and that's going to be talked about in that video above. And that is going to be talking about the differences that you can expect to see on different types of forging when you use translucent finishes. So watch the video, kind of use the chart, and get familiar with all this stuff. The way this fixture is made, because I know it very well, it's going to be more in line with the pictures with the B on it for boy and not the A. You're not going to have a lot of modeling on this fixture. But watch the video anyway. Come back to the chart when you guys are done, and you can click on any of those pictures and you'll see a big pop-up window, and it'll show you a bunch of things in whatever you just clicked on. So if you click on burnished steel, it's going to show you a bunch of stuff in burnished steel. Click on dark smoke, it's going to show you a bunch of stuff in dark smoke, and so on and so on. So I think that kind of covers pretty much everything on this fixture. When you buy your Hubbardton forged fixtures from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. There's no tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont, and we're the only dealer with 90-day returns and no restocking fees. No other dealer even comes close to that. Some larger items are non-returnable. We're always going to tell you about that on in the beginning, and those are things that are generally on pallets that are really tough to ship back and forth. In addition to all that, we offer a rush program. So rush takes you from Hubbardton forges 3 to 4 weeks in production. We can whittle that down to a little under 2 weeks. It's very inexpensive. I do it every day. I do it a lot of the day because people sometimes need things faster. It's very inexpensive. So just drop me a quick email, sales@HandmadeInVermont.com, and we spell out the word Vermont, and I can clue you in on that. Our showroom in Vermont has over 350 Hubbardton forged fixtures, so it's well worth making the trek to come see us. Back in those red tabs again, we have a what's on display page, so click on that. It's going to show you a big list with pictures of everything we have here before you guys make the journey up here. Another reason to come up is we have a clearance center, and clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's a huge bargain, so it's something I can help you with when you're here, and it's another reason to come visit. So showroom is open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can call 802-446-2400. We've also done close to, I think, 400 YouTube videos. So there's YouTube videos on all kinds of things like lampshades and glass and product. So it's definitely worth checking out. So I think that kind of covers pretty much everything on this. If you guys have any questions or if I missed something, let me know, and I'm here to talk to you. Okay? Thanks for stopping in today. Take care. Bye-bye.